Back in comes Shadow Swampert at 100 energy, and in case any of you need a reminder of why it's called the GOAT, sit tight, you're about to find out. Hydro Cannon deletes Steelix, back out comes Stinky Binky, and it's about to meet the same fate. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have an incredible battle submission from Mr. Tamagotcha, a fellow content creator. He's going to be linked down below. Make sure you go check him out because I cannot wait to shoutcast these battles. Unlike a lot of content creators, he isn't relying upon absolute basic bitch meta and heavily excelled Pokemon. Let's not kid ourselves, the Great League right now is ridiculous. It's so boring. People are using Lickitung, Carbink, Medicham, Sableye, you name it. All these really boring, very excelled Pokemon. Not Mr. Tamagotcha, he is giving you a very budget-friendly team that he goes on an absolute tear up with. There is no XL Pokemon in this team. We're just using 3 starters, all of the legacy Comday moves that hit like a truck. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we lead our only non-shadow on the team, Serperior into Mandibars. Dreadful. We're going to instantly say switch into the one and only GOAT, Shadow Swampert. Earthquake this season has been nerfed, but my god, is Swampert still a menace. Tamagotcha fires off the Hydro Cannon, and this Flying Vulture's bolt is evidently on display here. As Hydro Cannon usually 2 shots, a lot of threats, however Mandibars are far too thick for that. Tamagotcha undeterred, fires off Hydro Cannon number 2, getting Mandibars down to around a 3rd health. Shadow Swampert in a position where we'll get knocked out even by an aerial after Tamagotcha invests the Protect Shield. He then fires off 1 Mud Shot and the Hydro Cannon for optimal fast move timing, putting shield and emphasis on the opponent. The opponent commits that Protect Shield, looking to get rid of the GOAT, and Tamagotcha says fine, fucking have it. Swampert has got this thing fairly low, but we probably can't come in. Wing attack farm down before they reach another move. So Tamagotcha sends out Serperior to operate as the damage sponge. We tank the super effective Aerial Ace. That essentially does nothing, it's still Aerial Ace. We send in Charizard, look for the aggressive wing attack farm down. Unfortunately, as Mandibars refuses to die, they full send the Dark Pulse, which lands for huge damage despite Mandibars having a 0 attack stat. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down, send out Thickersby, and Thickersby isn't as thick as it thinks it is because Blast Burn lands for huge damage. We shield up the Fire Punch. Tamagotcha looking to go for the Dragon Claw on the CMP tie to Fire Punch number 2. Dragon Claw does secure the knockout. Charizard absolutely popping off. Does the opponent send back out Mandibars? No, they don't. They send out the big tin can, and Tamagotcha's going for a very risky bait. I can't watch. Dragon Claw forces the final Protect Shield, and that is going to allow Charizard to outpace to the Blast Burn, vanquishing Regi Steel. Back to their Pokeball. Back out comes Mandibars, and the opponent concede the match. GG's, and thanks for playing. I personally am not a fan of baiting, as every time you masturbate a cat dies, but Mr. Tamagotcha, all is forgiven, as you did get that big boom on that tin can. In the next battle, we see a great lead. Serperior into Greninja. The opponent say switch into their own Shadow Charizard, and we answer with Swampert. We force a Protect Shield with the Hydro Cannon. The opponent needs a full send of Blast Burn to secure the knockout. Tamagotcha withstands the Dragon Claw, fires off Hydro Cannon number 2, forcing both Protect Shields off the opponent in the mid game. Tamagotcha sends out his own Shadow Charizard, as our Serperior definitely does not fancy the smoke. This Charizard is absolutely loaded from the opponent. We get baited with the Dragon Claw. Tamagotcha now forced to double shield the opponent the second time, does full send the Blast Burn. Tamagotcha played to a CMP tie that he did not win, so he undercharges. The Dragon Claw allowing him to get the full wing attack farm down. Back out comes Greninja. We're full sending the Blast Burn. This is resisted, but Shadow Charizard doesn't care about type-ins. We attempt to snipe with Serperior, and the opponent answer with Trevenant, a very fun ABC team from the opponent. We're also on an ABC team. What I mean by ABC is essentially Grass, Water, Fire, or any variant of them 3 in any order. The opponent full send the Shadow Ball. The bulky Grass Snake withstands the damage, fires off the Aerial Ace, securing the knockout. We Vine Whip farm down, and we take that game. ABC team doesn't necessarily have to be Water, Grass, Fire. It's just 3 Pokemon with different typings, unlike the more common ABB teams where you see something like Nidoqueen, Double Dark. The 2 dark types are obviously they're both Bs, and our A is Nidoqueen. In the next battle, we see a great lead. The opponent say switch into Wallface, hashtag no baits on this channel. Tamagotcha full sends the Earthquake, saying get that piece of shit out of here. The opponent sends back out their own Swampert, and we're going to fire off the Hydro Cannon, forcing a Protect Shield. Tamagotcha, of course, could let this go, as we've got a very hard answer for Swampert. However, he's having some fun. He's looking to shield up his own Swampert. and look to go for a full sweep. Shadow Swampert fires off the Hydro Cannon. The opponent is now all shields down. Does Tamagotchi go for the sweep? Yes, he does. We shield up the next Hydro Cannon. The opponent then forced to pivot, send out their own Serperior. And my God, do we have some answer for you, trainer. This is what you call RPS for the win. If you're going to run Wallface, I absolutely, sincerely hope you get RPS in every battle. Shadow Charizard full sends the Blast Burn. Back out comes Swampert. We're going to fire off the Dragon Claw. I've got no idea why the opponent hasn't top left. Even if you've got Sludge Wave Trainer, it isn't going to get the job done. And we don't even have to return with Serperior. And we take that game. In the next battle, we lead Serperior into Lantern. Let's go. This silly electric fish going to instantly retreat. The opponent sends out Gligar, and here comes the GOAT. As the best PvP player and fellow content creator Yasa says, this is a scuffed matchup. Typing advantage very much in the GOAT's favour. However, even Shadow Swampert can't one-shot Gligar, and due to the sub-flying typing, it's a pretty impossible task of Mudshot farming down. Tamagotchi looking to keep alignment, double shields both aerial asses, and finally we're going to see a Hydro Cannon land on Gligar, but it just isn't going to do enough damage, unless of course they've got really random shit IVs like a 15-0-0. Gligar withstands the Hydro Cannon, fires off the aerial ace. Tamagotchi then farms up to the back-to-back, and on minimal HP is going to get rid of Gligar. This is a great play from Tamagotchi. Not only does he allow minimal farm, for whatever comes in, we've also got a charge move locked and loaded. To my surprise, the opponent doesn't tank the Hydro Cannon on Lantern, instead tank it on Medicham. They have still got one Protect Shield remaining. However, as they haven't got alignment, this game is just absolutely over. I've got no idea how the opponent can win this game. Lantern fires off the Thunderbolt. Our Grass Snake tanks that like an absolute boss. Tamagotchi farms up, fires off the Frenzy Plant. The opponent, of course, can't shield this. They're going to save their Protect Shield for Medicham, but Medicham is going to have a tough task ahead of it, as the Frenzy Plant is locked, is loaded. It forces the final Protect Shield. We then go for the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace, pretty garbage. Hits for super effective. Does it knock out? No, it does not. The opponent then get Vine Whip farm down, and Charizard gets a nice rest on the bench. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see the Serperior Mirror. Our Serperior is running Aerial Ace. I think that is the moveset that you probably want to run. However, Galaxka Botan did actually win Leo on the full grass moveset. Aerial Ace, obviously nice coverage for any opposing grass types. Let's see if this opponent is also on Aerial Ace. The opponent fire off the Frenzy Plant, which should suggest they have got the full grass moveset. So they're going to be on Frenzy Plant and Leaf Tornado. The idea behind Leaf Tornado is that it's got a 50% chance to lower your opponent's attack by 2 stages, which means your Grass Snake can win matchups it has no rights in winning. As always, I've got distracted, but Tamagotchi certainly did not. We sniped the remaining health of the opponent's Serperior with Charizard, drawing out Stinky Binky. This is a dreadful place for Charizard to be. The Rock Throws double super effective. Charizard gets deleted in the blink of an eye. However, Tamagotchi does have a very good answer for this annoying Stinky Binky. I'm going to be honest, it looks like a butt plug, but I think that's quite offensive, so I'll go with Stinky Binky. We get baited with a Rock Slide. Swampert continuing to farm up, firing off the Hydro Cannon. Is Stinky Binky going to look to invest a Protect Shield? Yes, they are. The opponent then send out Steelix. Swampert looking primed to sweep this back line. Tamagotchi farms up, fires off the Hydro Cannon, forcing the final Protect Shield. Tamagotchi still with 1 Protect Shield, too high behind, definitely going to shield up the Breaking Swipe. Tamagotchi then farms up, banks 100 energy, and stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We catch the next Breaking Swipe onto Serperior. The opponent does go for the undercharge, but no undercharge will be saving you, trainer. The undercharge allows us to fire off the Frenzy Plant, most certainly putting this thing into Hydro Cannon range. Back out comes Swampert at 100 energy. Hydro Cannon gonna delete the Steel Snake. Swampert says, feed me that stupid Stinky Binky. Out it comes, and Hydro Cannon gonna seal the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. And Mr. Tamagotchi goes a perfect 5-0 in set number 1, using this budget team, featuring no XL Pokemon, no legendaries or mythicals, heading into the next set. Serperior into the Bear Trap. The opponent doesn't fancy that matchup. They say switch into Medicham, and here comes Charizard. The opponent farms up to a potential Psychic. Tamagotchi gonna respect it. The opponent bait with an Ice Punch. However, Tamagotchi undeterred farms up. He's not baiting. He knows Dragon Claw doesn't knock out. We full send the Blast Burn, securing the knockout. Get absolutely wrecked, Medicham. As we overfarm, we're going to actually get our shield immediately back with the Blast Burn. Tamagotchi fires off the Blast Burn on the CMP tie to a Rock Slide. And of course, the Bear Trap shits its pants, giving us our shield back. Charizard has done its job. The Rock Slide does secure the knockout. Tamagotchi now sends in Swampert. The opponent send out Frostlass. Swampert farms up. Tamagotchi makes a very nice catch, catching the Avalanche onto Serperior. Thinking Serperior, your best use is their third shield, but Serperior says, I'm far too thick for that. Even though the Avalanche is a good move and super effective, we're able to withstand the damage, fire off the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant gets Frostlass very low. Tamagotchi fires off the Hydro Cannon, securing the knockout. Back out comes the Bear Trap. The Bear Trap needs to land an Earthquake, but Swampert with residual energy just isn't going to allow that to happen. Tamagotchi fires off a Hydro Cannon, forcing the final Protect Shield. Tamagotchi can easily shield this, even if they bait, which of course they do. They're not going to be able to reach the Earthquake, as we've got our own Earthquake locked and loaded. It's going high Bear Trap, by Bear Trap. Get wrecked. GG's, and thanks for playing. If you don't have these starters built yet, on the Legacy Comday moves of Blast Burn, Hydro Cannon, and Frenzy Plant respectively, you need to get them built, as my god they hit hard. In the next battle, we lead Serperior into Frostlass. Tamagotchi gonna respect the Avalanche. We've seen it near one shots. Tamagotchi does shield it up. We're then gonna overfarm, fire off the Frenzy Plant, one before the next Avalanche. Takes Frostlass, 6/6 then 5 to the Avalanche. We fire it off, force a Protect Shield. We look to throw on CMP, but Frostlass with the higher attack stat does get the option to throw first. Tamagotchi actually chooses the double shield, fires off the Frenzy Plant. The opponent also match shields. Tamagotchi then looks to fire off the next one. The opponent could have won CMP, but instead banked the Avalanche, send out Licky, far too thicky, and here comes Charizard. Tamagotchi, for the first time in the video, sitting in a really tricky spot, as nothing on our team really wants to tank an Avalanche, and we have no Protect Shields to hide behind. Tamagotchi farms up, fires off the Blast Burn. Blast Burn will be securing the knockout. Tamagotchi instantly fires off a Dragon Claw, anticipating Frostlass returning, but the opponent plays very smartly, not wanting to get that energy sniped. Absorb the damage on Umbreon. I can see it coming, guys. It's time for that Wham Bam combo play. We need to anticipate the switch. The opponent does go for the Wham Bam combo play, and they're going to take the dub. GG's, and very well played to that opponent. Moving on to the next battle. We got Serperior into Greninja, a very dominating lead. The opponent say switch into a Shadow Gligar. We answer with Shadow Swampert. This is much better for us, as one Hydro Cannon is going to be lethal. The opponent fire off the Aerial Ace. Swampert farms up to the back-to-back Hydro Cannon. So if the opponent shield once, they're going to be forced to shield twice. The opponent does invest that Protect Shield. Desperately looking to make a play at switch, but Tamagotchi says no. He shields up the next Aerial Ace again, farms up to the back-to-back. Swampert takes 5, 4, then 5 to Hydro Cannons. Gligar is straight 5s. The opponent recognising they're going to be unable to make switch. Just let it go. The opponent send out Venusaur. We force it in the Earthquake. The opponent show no respect. They get one shot. We pivot into Serperior, and that is essentially going to be all she wrote. Swampert, one shot in Veno. Let's go. You love to see it. Tamagotchi only firing off the Aerial Ace, so the opponent's going to be forced to shield everything. Or at least you'd think the opponent calls the bait, but that is not going to save you, as we're still not in Night Slash range. The opponent fires off the Night Slash, then get Vine Whip farm down, and they save that shield for next season. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we lead Serperior into another Greninja. My god, is Serperior eating good today. The opponent stays in, most likely going to go for the chip and dip strategy. The opponent fires off the Night Slash, and to my surprise, there's no dip, so Tamagotchi opt in to full send the Frenzy Plant, either guaranteeing the shield or the knockout. The opponent just sack it. The opponent then send in the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death, we answer with Swampert. The opponent builds up some energy, pivot into Ferrothorn. Tamagotchi full sends the Earthquake, rocking this thing down to around a third health. Ferrothorn going to fire off a charge move. Tamagotchi going to save his 2 shields. Tamagotchi now going to send in Charizard, look for the full wing attack farm down. I believe this is only a Power Whip at worst, but Tamagotchi going to respect it, and this savage bait us with an Acid Spray. Back out comes Talonflame. Tamagotchi fires off 2 wing attacks and the Dragon Claw for optimal fast move timing. When using 2 turn into 5 turn, you ideally want to throw 2 quick moves or 7. The opponent bait us with the Flame Charge. Tamagotchi invests his final Protect Shield again, fires off the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw forces the final Protect Shield. Tamagotchi continuing to go straight Dragon Claw. I imagine we're probably going to look to sack the Serperior, which we do. Back out comes Serperior. The opponent going to be forced to dump energy. Flame Charge will be vanquishing us back to our Pokeball. Back out comes Charizard, and we're going to win the race to the next Dragon Claw, and it's going to be the triple starter team that secures the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. Acid Spray Ferrothorn. Interesting. I think you most certainly want to run Thunder or maybe Flash Cannon if you're really pissed off with seeing Stinky Binky. In the next battle, we see another Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death, we see the instant pivot into Charizard, drawing out Jellicent. This isn't the worst matchup in the Great League, as Charizard hits like a truck, or at least it would have done if the opponent didn't invest that Protect Shield. Charizard has gained a shield advantage in the mid game, so Tamagotchi just allows Charizard to get vanquished back to his Pokeball. Tamagotchi now sends back out Serperior. Jellicent gonna reach the Shadow Ball, but Serperior, incredibly thick, essentially doesn't care. The opponent full send the Shadow Ball, we tank it like an absolute boss. Tamagotchi then throws 4 Vine Whips and the Frenzy Plant for optimal fast move timing. It's 1, 4 or 7, like I say, time and time again. We pivot into Swampert with a 2-to-1 shield advantage. The opponent, at a potential Brave Bird, they bait us with the Flame Charge and then send out Wigglytuff, a Pokemon I like to call a fucking marshmallow. Tamagotchi not baiting, full sends the Earthquake. Earthquake rocks Wigglytuff down into the red. Swampert gets the full Mudshot farm down, back out comes Talonflame. Swampert at the back-to-back Hydro Cannons. The first one will be forcing the final Protect Shield, and the second one would have knocked out, but the opponent, recognising the game's over, decide instead just to take their loss. Tamagotchi gets another 4-on-1. Huge shout out to Mr. Tamagotchi for the battle submission. Make sure you go check him out. He's linked down below. He's an incredible content creator. He makes really fun videos and does live streams as well. Make sure you give him a follow. He showed today that you don't need to run XL Pokemon, Mythicals or Legendaries to pick up them big dubs in the Great League. So enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing if you'd like your battles featured on my channel. Link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.